As Miss mentioned, my name is Miss Musa, and for today's class, we're looking at value as one of the elements of art. We're able to define value. We will also be able to identify three different parts of a value scale and also different images. You'll be able to see them, different drawings. You will also be able to complete a value scale, whether it's 3 values, 5, or more. So my first question is, can anybody remember some of the elements of art? Go ahead. Texture, line, color, shape, space, form. Is there any other? Or we covered all?
You missing value.
Well, yes, we have value as well. So there are 7, in most cases, there are 7 elements of art. So, when it comes to value, value basically talks about how light or dark anything is. It can be a person or an object. So, looking right here, at this setup we have in front here with these two containers. And even this fabric here for those who can see. Right? We know if we say this, here's the light source coming here, or going to these objects here. Where can you identify as the dark or the light spot? Anybody could just point it out or come up and just identify. Look in here. Even if the shadows you see, where do you see light, where is dark? Yes, right here, because the light is coming directly here, and the shadow is dark. Anybody else? Even for this, the fabric here that's on the board. Light and dark. You could say it, go right there, say it, don't find it. You think it's too hard, man. Go ahead. I like how you're excited. Right here? Right here, that very great. So even here could be another light source. Thank you very much. So we can even say that even when we're in the kitchen, we're at home, simple observation. Even when you're walking, we know that we have a shadow. The shadow will be, if the light is in front of you, your shadow can be in front of you. So the shadow will be behind the object. It is the opposite direction of the light source. So if the only light source is this right here, my shadow would be behind me or the side. If the light source was behind me, my shadow would be in front. So value generally talks about how light or dark anything is. It can be an individual or it can be an object. So Miss is gonna come around with some images so you can see some examples of drawing. You can look at it, observe it, and you pass it around to see the contrast in these images. The one to the top would be mostly have some dark tones. There are also some mid tones and light shades there, but it's mostly dark. And the one to the bottom is very light. So that's an example of a drawing that demonstrates contrast in value. And I was saying, even in everyday activity, you will see, even if you're looking in kitchen, you might see the X-ray on the table, and where the light is coming from, you will see some parts look dark, some parts look light. In actuality, that's not how it may actually look, but based on where the light is coming from, you'll be able to see the value of these objects.
All right. At this point in time, just before we move on, persons with the paper that I'm asking not to tear or fold or scratch or nothing, so I would like you, as you've looked at it, can you tell me specifically where the light is? So I'll ask you there. Beautiful girl in the second. Yeah, you with the two that ducking and hiding and tiny.
From the image that you
From the
observed,
images that you just saw, the drawings you were looking at, can you identify the darkest area in the drawing? That's the darkest area. Thank you very much. You do too much already. You at the back. I want you to stand and identify the lightest area in any of the two drawings, please. And it's okay, you guys can use your outdoor, indoor voices that you usually use. Use words, buddy. At the top of the egg is the lightest area. Thank you very much. All right, let's give him a hand of applause. Let's give her a hand of applause. Okay, you know she was a little shy just now. All right. So, based on what we would have just finished, Marcus, can you stand and tell us what is your understanding or definition of value? Miss went through it already, and you guys will respond positively. What is value?
This value is the skill between
Correct, correct. You have something to add? Okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, now, at this point in time, we want to move on to the worksheets. Now, a few of you would have the worksheets there with you, and your worksheets should have a value scale to the very bottom of it. Now, just before we get to that part of the value, I want to sort of identify a few things for you. First of all, how you hold your pencil is very important. As you already know, there's two basic types of pencils. We have hard pencils, which would be our 8th grade pencils. Can anybody tell me what is the other type of pencils? We use these. So how come when I ask English, everybody put the banana away? Cheesy pencil is a hard pencil. It's a grade H. Listen, it's the point, the leg you're focusing on. We all know common entrance, right?
Yeah.
Common entrance pencils, you notice as soon as you make a slight scratch, dark, to the point that you would smudge it, right? Those are the characteristics of a grade B pencil, right? Can you do that with a cheesy pencil? No. So therefore, cheesy pencil is deemed as an H grade. It's a hard pencil. Common entrance pencils, the powdery one, as soon as you touch it, smudgy, that's a B grade pencil. So what are the grade types again? H and D, correct. We do have a mixture. Anyway, really quickly, what we have here are some techniques. You at the back, you're able to see the techniques. These are various drawing techniques that we want to reintroduce you to, right? Because you would have done them in grade 7 already, okay? Now, before you, for the most part today, we'll be focusing on the shading. Because it's most popular, I don't want to say the easiest one, it's the most popular one. Everybody knows about shading and smudging, correct? I know here you guys love to do a lot of smudging when you draw, right? Good. Now, how many of you hold your pencil like this to write or even to draw? What about your ordinary, this is the popular one. Have you ever tried doing it like that, where you put the pencil just above? Right?
Yes.
So what happens is when you have your pencil like this, it's more restrictive. It's a lot easier for you to take control of your letters, but for drawing it might be just a little too tight. If you go the other way, you'll notice there's a bit of a freedom, a lot of flexibility within the wrist, which is good for drawing. All right? Anyway, we mentioned that because again, you're supposed to be shading, right? We have two teaching aids. One the value scale, one is a smaller version of the drawing techniques that you're supposed to do. Okay? Persons who have the papers in front of them, persons who can quickly draw the value scale, I want you to draw a 5-square value scale. Okay? Once you have the value scale there with you, we want to start shading. Now, for the most part, we shade from light to dark. Okay? The light area, let's use colors for me. We choose red. If I add white into red, what am I going to get?
Pink.
We get pinks. Those pinks are called tints. Right? If we add black to that same red, what are you going to get?
Burgundy.
Burgundy is correct. Right? That would be, so burgundy is a shade of the red, whereby pink is a tint. So on your value scale, I encourage you, or at least we have uncovered two things. Your value scale will have tints, which is the whites, and on the other side, you will have shades, which would be your so-called blacks, right? What do we call the tones in the middle?
Pink.
Mid-tones is correct. Thank you for attempting it, right? So your value scale is simply made of what? What is the three things? Alright, that's correct. Not in the order, but that's correct, right? Both of them said the shades, the mids, and the tints. Our blacks are called our shades. So you are correct. Alright? Now, for those who are started shading, can you show us your first square at least?
So on one side would be very light, basically looking just like the page, and another side would be dark. So the tint would be, even though we know with vehicles when we take tint, we think it is dark, but here when we take tint, it's light, and shade is dark. So let's try not to confuse it. So the shade will be the dark end, which is one side, and tint on the other end. So now we mix it up and put it all over. You can decide to start light or start dark. If you want to have the shade on the left or the shade on the right, doesn't matter. It's up to you. So when you're holding your pencil, don't try to have too much of a grip on the pencil. It can be very light. Even if you hold it right to the end and just shade like this. You can decide which shading technique you would like to use for either shade or the tint on the value. You can do